what is the definition of rape culture? What do we mean when we say that? And I thought I'd start with you because it's been a big issue in the last couple of weeks. Claudette, what is rape culture?
Well, I agree with the Minister, and it is about, what we believe in, what we say, what we do, and what's reinforced, and also too around the imaging, around those, putting those actions in place.
What would be an example? What would be an example?
Well, but what I would like to say is that there is absolutely no place for this, and that every woman and child, every little boy and man has the right to feel safe.
What does it look like? What does rape culture
I have heard debate, on radio as to what it is. So it's what you say, and then and how you act upon it, and then what others perceive that to be, and how they encourage that. Whether it be through words or actions or deeds. There is a big range. When you talk about culture per se, there are many, many levels to that, and it's about a tick off. So when you get more than one thing ticking off, then it is a culture.
I'm trying to get what you mean, though. What is it?
Yeah. Well, let's look at examples of rape culture. It's when two young guys who call themselves the Roast Busters can brag about having sex with girls that are unconscious because they're inebriated. It's about police officers doing what they did to Louise Nicholas and thinking that was okay and they could get away with it. It's about people like Ralph Harris and Jimmy Savile being able for years and years and years to abuse people right across the world in different countries, and nobody feeling that they could speak out against that. That's what rape culture is, when we tolerate that and we don't do anything about it.
All right.
It is about you tolerating that, and then when they are convicted as rapists, they are rapists. But it is about how they tolerate that, exactly what I had said. If they tolerate those actions and what they say in those deeds, then that is part of the culture. Absolutely it is, and
Gareth,
I agree with it.
Green Party, what define it for us? What do you think it is?
Well, it's something we have to listen to the victims of it and what they think it is. It's very much what Phil's just described. It's about the pervasive sexism we have in our culture. It's about the 1 in 100 cases which only lead to a conviction. It's about the way the police and the court system deal with it. It's a serious issue, and what Claudette's party are doing are cutting the funding for rape crisis, for safe. I was in Palmerston North today. They've just lost their women's refuge. It's about not supporting women. It's about not taking it seriously, and that's where I'm proud to see people like Jan Logie standing up and championing women.
I'll have to give you a right reply to that, Claudette. What do you think?
Look, we are funding a lot of programs and a range of programs that work across the communities.
But not Women's Refuge.
Yes, we are funding Women's Refuge, and he's completely
just
incorrect.
Closed in Palmerston
and
North
so I was in Taupo yesterday speaking with some Women's Refuge there who are being funded. There are a range of groups.
But it's
who
been
are
frozen.
Go to Christchurch.
You're absolutely wrong. There are groups that are providing services for this that are being funded. So we are not going carte blanche and not funding services to rape victims and to refugees.
I'll give
Phil.
My question to Claudette is this. If you're doing all those things, why is it that sexual assaults in Christchurch since 2010 are up 40%, and last week the only rape crisis centre in Christchurch was closed because it couldn't get funding? That's my question.
And I'm not going to disagree with that, but what you do know, you know full well that there are other services available and that the government is funding those services. You know very well.
Rape crisis centre in Christchurch.
And it's obviously because they are in opposition, they will pick on these groups that are not being funded. And say that is carte blanche across the country, and it's absolutely wrong.
What's your understanding of what rape culture is in New Zealand?
It's basically the whole ideal of we're teaching women how to dress rather than we're teaching men not to rape, which is just, disgusting.
All right, so you see these sorts of comments. I mean, we've seen them even in the last week, haven't we? Comments over the lipstick that someone chooses to wear and what that means.
Yeah, totally. I always think of it, as a young girl being told, like from a young age, it was like you can't go out at night, you can't dress like that if you're going to a party because it's just going to invite people to do, rape. And I think that's sort of the culture that we're teaching people, rather than going, actually, blanket, rape's not okay, doesn't matter what she's wearing or anything like that, what time of night it is.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Can I just, let's wander around a little bit more. Hello there. Hi, how are you?
Hi, pretty good, thanks.
You happy to be on TV?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sweet. One thing... Good then. It's all about consent, you see, guys. You've got to ask, see. That's a lesson. There you go. Tell me, I read a lot in blogs and stuff about people writing just experiences of young women going out in town. It seems quite alien to me that there's this much kind of general harassment on a night out in town. Do you go out in town at all?
Not so much now, but in like a couple of years ago, yep, early 20s, definitely.
Is it a thing? People randomly getting groped and, can you explain to me?
Yeah, that would be your general experience, or like the general leering looks that you get, and it doesn't matter what you're wearing, as young woman that you talked to just before just said, but yeah, it's sort of, you kind of feel a bit ashamed, and so, yeah, it's been a negative experience. Yeah.
There also has to be the language that's been used, male, female, male, female, female, that throwaway comment about consent there. That was borderline as well too. It is small little innuendos that can lead up to...
Damien's comment.
Yeah.
That was borderline?
Yeah, I think that was borderline.
What was borderline,
I thought
sorry?
that was, when you said to the young lady there, are you okay about being on television?
TV. Yeah.
And then you said, okay, so that's consent.
Yeah, I was making the point that it's...
Yeah, that's right. That's
consent
right.
is an important thing.
So what I'm saying is it's little comments like that, little innuendos, that end up leading to what Phil had talked about. So we've got to be really mindful about the words that we use to each other that lead to where Phil has what Phil has said.
All right.
Do I get a right to reply to that?
Very quick.
The point that I was trying to make was a very serious
we know
one.
what you were trying to make.
That consent is important. It's a good thing to get. Now, when I'm doing television, normally I don't necessarily ask people in the audience to consent to an interview. What I was trying to underline was the fundamental message going on here. So rather than being flippant.